So today we are going to work with the forms. So this is a 10 tutorial. If you have any doubt regarding the architecture structure of Django, you can refer to our previous tutorials as well. So first thing, now let's get started with this. So forms are made to for the user input. So forms are usually made according to your demand and requirement. Today we'll create a form, and then we'll use forms, and then what we are going to do, we are going to integrate the front end part of our form. We'll create a responsive form layout, and then we'll integrate the back end part of our logic with the front end part. So we are going to create a we'll see how we can integrate forms, then we'll see how we can submit forms using the one with the request method and one with the post method. Then we will figure out what the difference between the two. So let's get started with this. So today, so this is my project. So first I will run my server. So I'll type python manage.py run server, and I will move to my local host. So I'll refresh this page. So the server will get started. So yeah, here you can see the server has started. So what we are going to do today, so what we are going to do, first I'll create a path, the URL path. I'll create my form, okay, and I'll create a view with the name views.myform, and I'll give this URL a name is equal to my form as well. Okay, that looks pretty fine. So first I will create a form, and so I'll move to my views.py file. Okay, so here's my views.py file. So what I'm going to do, I'll define a view, define my form, and it'll take a request as a parameter, and I'll render an HTML page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to type return, okay, return render request, and I'll make an HTML page, my form.html. So this looks pretty fine. So what I need to do, so I need to define my form.html inside my template page. Okay, I'll move to my templates. So I'll create a new file, my form.html. so this looks pretty fine. So what we are going to do today, so this is a my form.html page. So I have defined a few links. We can move to this link, and what we can do, we'll move to this link, and what we can do, we'll look how we can create responsive forms using Bootstrap. So this is going to be very good. So we can see how we can create responsive forms using Bootstrap. And what we are going to do, so this is like a box container with an email address, then a password, then check me out, submit. We can create a form like this only, and this is another one, email address, example, select. So this is a select option with the drop down behavior. So this is a text area, and this is a form with an input type is equal to file. So here you can see this is input type is equal to file. So why I'm telling you all this, because this will make you habitual with what kind of widgets we have to work with the form. Then this is all about sizing, and this is this is select, and this is read only. You can read this only, no edit allowed here. Then read only plain text. So this is how we do. So this is one of the range inputs. This is works with the slider behavior. Then others are checkbox, and this is disable checkbox. Then default radio, second default radio, disable radio, and inline. So we have very much decent type amount of parameters to work with. And then this is a form group. So this is form grid. the form row. I'll explain all this how you can make a form, and we'll start this from scratch because this is going to be very one of the important parts. And let's get started with designing our front end part. So first I'll do, I'll just simply pick any template and I'll paste this because I have to extend my index.html to my form page. So I'll change this name, my form. Okay, now, okay, I'll remove this line. Okay, and I'll give a heading h1. Let me give a heading my form, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my localhost and type /my form. Okay, so this is my form. So I've defined the heading to make sure that the template is working. So what I can do next is I'll move to this page, and what you can do, you can have a simple layout. Okay, you can have any of the simplest layout. Let's start with the simple one. So we'll pick this. Okay, or if you want me to, we'll make this from scratch. Okay, first what you need to define, you need to define a form group. So we'll define a form group. So for first we will define a div class is equal to container fluid. Okay, this is a container. Then inside this we need to define a row. Then I'll define a column called medium of size 6, or you can say width 6. Then I need to define a form. Okay, so this will be defined. Now what do you need to define inside of, you need to define a div class is equal to form group. So I'll use this div class is equal to form group. Okay, so what do you need to do? So I'll use another. Okay, let's proceed with this. So you can see that for two inputs there are one div class is equal to form group and another is also div class is equal to form group. So suppose you are having two inputs, div class is equal to form group. So here you can see I have a container, then a row, then a column of medium width 6, then a form, then I have two form groups. This means I'm going to define two inputs. So one is input type is equal to text. I'll give this ID as my text, and name is equal to my text as well. And I'll define, what you can see, they have defined input type is equal to email, class is equal to form control. So I'll define this class to this because this class is necessary, form control. Okay, so this looks pretty fine, and I define a label for my form. So here you can see they must define a label for. So I'll define a label, my text, okay, this looks pretty fine. And what we can do, I'll go to this page. Okay, so here it is a form. So but right now there's no such alignment, so I'll go to inspect. Okay, when I move to my inspect, I'll go to div class with call md6 and I'll try some CSS out here. So I'll do margin 0 auto. So this looks pretty fine. My form gets to the center. Okay, I'll do this. Style is equal to margin 0 auto, and with the same I'll do with the heading as well. So I'll try the CSS on this as well. This is my heading. So let's do something text align is equal to center. Okay, this looks pretty fine, and I'll give a little bit of a margin sorry, I'll give margin top, and I'll use a relative unit, and this is in terms of rem. So you can simply either you can copy the CSS, and this is a key shortcut, you can work with this, and I'll put a style tag here, and I'll paste the CSS here. So this looks pretty fine. So, and I'll right click here and I'll say format document. Okay, this format document. Oh, this isn't working. I'll check if something is okay. And I have defined a heading, and I'll do some changes. Okay, I'm having some issue with this. Okay, now this is fine, right? Yes. So I have a heading. Okay, now this looks pretty fine, and you can see I have a form with my text, and I'll do the same. Okay, I'll copy this quickly. Okay, I will define a text area. So this is a text area. So what we can do, so this is a text area, and we have defined rows for it, for how much rows we want. So we'll quickly do this. Okay, let's do this. Text area class is equal to form control. Okay, rows is equal to 3. Okay, before this I'll give an ID to it. ID my text area, and as well as a name to it. Name is equal to I'll give this a name as well, my text area. Okay, this looks pretty fine, and I'll close this text area so it automatically closes it, and I'll define a label for my text area, and this was going to be my text. Okay, I'll use a capital M and a capital T. So this looks pretty fine, and when I move to my page, okay, this looks pretty fine. So this is the form we have made, and we'll now test the responsiveness of this form. So what we are going to do, we are going to press Ctrl Shift I, or you can simply press inspect, right click, inspect, then we'll use a layout. Okay, now you can see the beauty of Bootstrap. So you can see iPhone 5, a responsive form is here, iPhone 6, iPad, okay, this Galaxy S5. So this is the responsive nature of a form. So, and this is, you can see Pixel 2, and here you can see that this is our form being responsive. So this is a beautiful nature of Bootstrap. So thank you guys, thank you so much. So I'll catch up in the next tutorial. We will integrate this front end part of our form with the backend part. So thank you guys.